for the thing that you don't understand. You got no fear of the underdog. That's why you will not survive.
Welcome to Talking to Tier 1. I'm Tony Scott, joined by Peter Odney. You wish you were Tony, don't you?
Every day.
Every day. Here we go. We're going to talk a little Tier 1 hockey. We got a lot to ground to cover in a short time to get there.
Definitely.
Let's start with the 05s. 2 weeks ago, we launched a special edition on the October Madness in Rochester, New York. Talk about the top teams that we playing. You'll make your prediction. I'll make mine.
Definitely. We've got 4 top seeds, the Mid-Fairfield Junior Rangers, the Philadelphia Little Flyers, the Montreal Nationals, and the Oakville Rangers.
So 2 Canadian squads, which we are very familiar with those teams, and 2 American teams that we're even more familiar with because they, as a whole, were playing in the show. The Philly Little Flyers, not the Junior Flyers. They finished second to, guess who? Mid-Fairfield, basically, essentially Mid-Fairfield in the show. So are you feeling Canadian today, or are you feeling American?
I'm feeling pretty patriotic today, Tony. My pick to win the October Madness tournament is going to be the Philadelphia Little Flyers. Chris Pelosi, Charlie Serrato, unbeatable.
All right. Well, I like your pick. If I got to go first, I would have picked them too, but because I'm not, I'm feeling a little Canadian today. I got up to O Canada this morning on the radio, and I'm feeling it today. I'm going Oakville Rangers. I'm going Cal Ritchie, Matthew Soto, Oakville, a suburb of Toronto. That's the squad. That's the team to beat here in October Madness. So I'm going to go with those guys. Good luck to all 32 teams in the fun format in Rochester.
It should be great.
All right, let's swing down to an area that we're very familiar with, the 04 major Pee Wee level. Let's quick shout out to the Buffalo Junior Sabres. They won the Motown. They beat Florida in a game 5-3 in a game in Hazelwood, I believe, or Hazelwood was the name of the rink in Detroit. So congratulations to Buffalo. Caleb Smith, Nick Peluso. Caleb's bigger than you, I think.
He is bigger than me.
He's tougher than you, and he can skate better than you.
We saw him a few weeks ago in Buffalo, and he is a monster on the ice. Soft hands.
Yeah, and you'll be in Toronto in a couple weeks, and I think the Buffalo will be there as well. Maybe they'll be one of our favorites for that.
They might be. They've really come on strong since the Buffalo tournament.
I have them rated very high in our staff rankings this week, but I still think the best team in North America is going to be the Toronto Junior Canadians. That team they're like buzzsaw. They're undefeated in Canada. I think they'll win the tournament in Toronto myself.
You are feeling Canadian today.
Very Canadian today. All right, let's go south of the border. What's going on at Penn State this weekend at Major Pee Wee?
We've got a really good 3-game series with Detroit Honey Baked and Mid-Fairfield Junior Rangers, 2 of the top teams in the country. And I get to pick first again.
No. Okay, fine. Go ahead. You pick first. I can make a case for either of these teams winning 2 out of 3 this weekend at what would it be? Happy Valley College.
Happy Valley.
Maybe, not College Station. Is it College Station?
No, it's Happy Valley.
Okay, we'll just call it Happy Valley. Okay, go ahead. You make your picks.
My pick's going to be Honey Baked by a nose.
11-0-1. Their only tie. It was against Florida, I believe. And you saw that game live in person, correct?
I did.
I'm going to go Mid-Fairfield.
Okay.
I think they have something to prove. They're the top team in our 2K4 hub standings. I think they are the team to beat when it comes to the whole USA Major Pee Wees.
All right.
Now let's switch up to Bantams. We're just going to crank it up another notch. Go to Bantams. Last weekend at Motown, or not at Motown, they played at Compton Arena in Notre Dame. There were some really top teams, including the top 3 teams in the country: Chicago Mission, Little Caesars. I think they're up here. I think the rest are below them in major bantams. I think Shattuck's a real good team. They went 3-1-1. We're going to see a lot of bantams next weekend in Chicago. Okay, we're going to see all the top teams, some of the top teams. Not a great field at the major bantam level. But we'll see a lot of the top teams in Chicago, in addition to 5 teams from Minnesota. We'll write about that. We'll chronicle their trip down to Chicago. Out of the 5 teams, I'll list them. You get to go first on this one. Rosemount's going, Minnetonka's going, White Bear Lake's going, Blaine is going, and Edina is going. That's 5 pretty darn good teams. I think in our staff rankings, 4 out of those 5 crack our staff rankings. Rosemount just outside the top 10, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them inside the top 10 at some point or all year.
Yep.
So you can get an idea how good this level is. Who are you going to take? Who's going to do best out of our 5 Minnesota teams down at the Nike Invite?
Well, first I'm going to say
Bauer
that
Invite,
the Bauer Invite would be a really good preseason tournament for any team to be in. A lot of good competition, nice to play on the road, traveling down to Bensonville. So I'm going to take Edina.
You're going Edina.
I'm going to pick Edina.
I think I put them 6 in the staff rankings this week. And it wasn't because I didn't think they were any good. I think they could very easily be number 1 based on the talent level of their squad. It's just they haven't played anybody yet, so we don't really have anything to judge against the rest of the teams. Stillwater and White Bear Lake cleaned up at the respective previews. White Bear at their own preview, and Stillwater did really well at the Centennial preview. So I put those 2 at our top 10. But this is going to be the year where it's just like a revolving door.
It's going to be a carousel.
Yeah, it will totally be. So you never know. So I'm going White Bear Lake. I think they could be the best team in the state. They did really well at their preview last weekend. They have a really solid top 9 front 4. They have a great goaltender. This is a team that I think can make a deep run in the state tournament out in Marshall.
I'm going to take the green and gold.
You like green and gold? You are such an Edina bobo, and you're not even from Edina.
No.
I can get you an Edina jersey if you'd like one.
I would actually buy that.
You would like that. No, you wouldn't have to buy it. I can get it to you for free.
A little bit of history.
All right, let's move on to Midget Minor. You saw Midget Minors last week. Tell us a little bit about that Shattuck Blades game.
Went down to Faribault, was really excited. The rubber match, each team had won one against the other. And Tony, it ended in a tie.
And we won't talk about your frustration until we get to Boom
I'll
Roasted.
hold off for a second.
You have Boom Roasted this week. I have no Boom Roasted. I am roast free this week. We'll get to that in just a second. Let's talk a little bit about the rankings. If I had a roasted, it would be about how hard it is to rank the midget minors. If you go up and down the list between the top 10 or 15 teams, you can start to see some trends. Like, oh, this team is really good. This team is really good. This team can't beat this team. They could all beat each other. It's kind of like our Bantam AA in Minnesota. It's a really, really hard level to rank. Right now I have Chicago Mission in that at the number 1 spot, but Chicago Mission lost to the Blades in the Fall Classic. I have the Blades probably way higher than some of the Formula's rankings out there, but I think the Minnesota Blades are one of the best teams. I think Shattuck's one of the best teams, and you saw them both play to a tie last week down in Faribault. All right, we've been building up the Boom Roasted. Let's hear it. What's your big Boom Roasted?
My Boom Roasted has to go to whoever decided there would be no overtime between Shattuck and the Blades. A tie?
That's a disaster. I can't believe that.
There's too much talent out there for it to end in a tie. I mean, you can't even do a 5-minute sudden death.
Or even a shootout, something to declare a winner,
I have a strong feeling that the kids were just as upset.
I believe you. Okay, game pucks.
My game puck is going to go. I'm going to stick with the Blades at the midget minor level, and my game puck is going to go to Mike Kester, who scored quite possibly the most beautiful shorthanded goal that I've seen in a very, very long time.
Hockey history?
No, not hockey history.
Not hockey history, but in a long time.
In a long time.
All right,
game puck to Mike Kester.
All right, I'm going to go game puck today. It's not going to be to a hockey player. It's going to be to the broadcasting crew for the Florida Lions 04. They go on Periscope, and heck, they do a pretty bang-up job of getting all the games in there, getting all the names for their team out there. They do a nice job of broadcasting. I got to see their semifinal and final game where they did lose, and listening to some of the broadcasting from Mark Weitz was some great stuff. Here he was broadcasting the game, and there was a bad call against his team, and he went from broadcaster unbiased
back to dad.
It was incredible. So shout out Game Puck to you, Mark, and all the people down in Florida for their passion for the game of hockey. We really appreciate it here at YHH, getting a chance to catch your team.
Salute.
All right, Peter, nice show.
Good show.
We'll be back in 2 weeks on Talking Tier 1. Have a good day.